Today I'm going to show you how to fix all of the common faults with the Hisense 4K TVs. A customer sent in their defective main board and they were stating they were experiencing the storage is running out message. Eventually the screen would either go blank or the TV would just shut off. Eventually it just got stuck on the Hisense logo. So let's take a closer look at the main board and see if we can fix it. Now all the symptoms we just mentioned are going to be typically caused by a defective main board, more specifically a defective eMMC chip, which stands for Embedded Multimedia Card. Either the card has failed on a hardware level or on a software level. Now this card is located below the heatsink, so let's remove it and take a closer look at that. To remove the heatsink, we'll flip the board over, and using my needle nose pliers, I'm going to pinch the clips, push them through, and the heatsink should come off. And the eMMC chip is this one right over here. Now this chip is SK Hynix branded with part number H264M41204HPR. Now it isn't always the case, but it is possible that the eMMC chip is actually perfectly fine and the failure is due to software corruption. However, it is much more common for the software to be okay and that the failure is a hardware level failure of the eMMC chip, which then in turn makes it so that the software can't properly execute. Now unfortunately, the only way for us to know and confirm for sure beyond any reasonable doubt that the eMMC either has failed on a hardware or software level is to remove it off of the board and install it into our special programmer, which will then analyze it and let us know whether or not it has failed. For that step, we're going to have to use our rework machine. These eMMC chips are soldered down to the circuit board via a ball grid array. So in order for us to safely remove them without warping the board or damaging nearby components, we use a rework machine. This machine will very precisely heat up the board from the bottom and the chip from the top until we reach the solder's melting point. Once that happens, we can remove the chip. Install it in our programmer and analyze it. Okay, this one is a straightforward diagnostic. The eMMC chip clearly has failed on a hardware level and needs to be replaced. Let's remove it and install a brand new replacement chip for programming. And just to clarify, the eMMC chips, when purchased from vendors, are going to be blank and need to be programmed using Hisense proprietary software. If we installed a blank chip, the mainboard would be completely dead and wouldn't allow the TV to turn on at all. While the chip is programming, let's start prepping the circuit board for the replacement chip. We need to remove all original solder left behind, and we typically do two passes, one with just the iron to pick up the bulk of it, and a second with the desolder wick for a clean finish. This process does leave burnt flux behind, which will be cleaned up with 99.99% isopropyl alcohol. Once the area is clean, we brush on a fresh layer of flux on the board. Okay, let's check back on the chip. Just about to finish up and all set. We are manually lining up the replacement chip, and we'll run the rework profile on the machine to resolder the eMMC chip back on the board. Now that our replacement eMMC is installed, we're going to reattach the heatsink. I'm going to remove some of the old thermal paste from the CPU, which is a little bit crusty. We'll do the same on the heatsink. We're going to be upgrading to MX4 thermal paste. Let's see if we have good spread. And we do. Actually, we have a little bit missing on this corner and down here. Okay, we're ready to bring the mainboard back to our TV and do a final live test. The mainboard is installed back into the TV. Let's power it on and see what we get. Okay, and it looks like we have a successful repair. We are now able to boot into the home screen without any issues. If you have a defective Hisense mainboard that you would like to send in for us to fix, we do offer the flat rate services, which come with a 1-year warranty, and those are available on our website, which I'll link in the description down below. If you found the video helpful or useful, leave us a like, subscribe for more content, and thank you for watching.